in 2007 we were bored with our jobs, and at that point of time we thought, can we do something on our own? Can we start on our own and make something successful by building it up from ground up? So that's when we started thinking about building an internet business, because internet was something that we were passionate about very well. We were working in internet companies, so internet was a very attractive space at that time. So we thought about doing comparison shopping engine. A comparison shopping engine basically is to compare prices among other websites of some products, and so that the users can find the best possible deals on the internet. So when we actually did that research, for a comparison shopping engine, you need some websites to compare against, right? So what we found out was that comparison among the existing websites at that time was not a good idea, because the service of those guys was not good. The whole user experience was not great at all.
So we were not adding any more value by comparing those websites for consumers.
Right. So that's when we thought about, okay, can two of us start an e-commerce website, which we thought, okay, we can definitely try it out. It doesn't hurt at all.
It will take much more than coding at home, but yeah.
So we did our initial research. We narrowed down the categories on commerce to books, because books had several advantages for a small company like ours. And then we quit our jobs, started working on the website, and then launched the website in October 2007.
So what is the kind of challenges that you faced?
So there were many challenges.
Registering your company itself was a challenge, because
Right.
you were working from home, and it's very hard to register a company at your home address when you don't have a telephone number or anything else. Then getting a payment gateway was a challenge due to the same reasons.
Right.
Convincing suppliers that, okay, so if you go to suppliers that, okay, I'm opening an online bookstore, they'll tell you that I meet 10 guys like you every day, convincing them that no, we are serious about this.
Right. So existing businesses, established businesses, were not really open to work with people like us.
Right.
We're two young guys who have not done business before, want to start up something from scratch.
Especially on the internet, which they don't understand.
So that actually was a big challenge, convincing third-party providers to work with us. But we got a few people to work with us who believed in us from the start. So for example, we started with only 2 suppliers of books. Today we are working with close to 500 suppliers across India. And in logistics, we started working with 2 companies. In payment gateway, we worked with 1 company. So these were the biggest challenges to start with. Of course, these were something that came as a surprise to us. But there were a lot of other challenges around marketing, around getting customers, getting people to know about us, to use us. So those were big challenges.
Okay. Why did you exactly choose this entire thing of only doing e-commerce? Why not something else?
So first of all, we thought that e-commerce is something that will definitely grow in India. We were big believers of e-commerce from the very start. And then we identified a few problems because of which e-commerce was not growing, and we thought that we could do much better. So mostly around service, distribution, logistics, and lack of use of technology in the day-to-day processes of these guys. So that is where we thought, by bringing in a technology perspective, we can add a lot of value.
Even in the usability of the websites, I mean, we found none of the existing websites at the time were really very usable. It was not easy to buy online at the time on those websites. So we wanted to give a very, very simple and good user experience also to the customer.
So we started in 2007. There started with 2 suppliers and 2 logistics partners. Right. So our goal was to reach break-even point as soon as possible, because we were not a funded company to start with. And for the business to grow organically and to run on its own, it had to start earning its own money. So we reached break-even point in March 2008. Where we took our first office, and we also. So in March 2008, we were break-even. We had 2 employees. We had close to 6 suppliers. So, and the customer base was growing very fast. So from here onwards, we started thinking about growth from here. and started approaching investors as well at this point of time. Because when you take a break even, when you are break even and you are talking to investors, you are in a much more comfortable position talking to them as compared to when you are burning money. So so in October 2008, we had Axel got very serious to invest in Flipkart, and at this point of time we had more than 20 employees and close to 20 suppliers, and this is all in Bangalore, right? So by March 2009, we had received funding from Axel, and we were close to, we had two offices, one in Bangalore and one in Delhi, and close to 40 employees, and we were working with 50 suppliers in these two locations.
Meet to Axel was about our growth at that point and the number of customers we had. So, and the way we were acquiring them without any marketing spend, mostly due to word of mouth. So, which spoke a lot about our service focus also, which I guess we convinced them was the most important for an e-commerce company to get funded.
Right. And actually, since the beginning, word of mouth marketing has been the biggest driver of customers to us. Basically, our satisfied customers getting other people to buy from us.
Right.
So that has been the biggest driver of customers, and till today, our biggest marketing channel is word of mouth, if you can call it a marketing channel.
So what is the key to Flipkart's success, if I may call it so?
In one phrase, it is customer delight. So when customers actually purchase from us, they feel delighted, or we try to provide the best possible experience that they can have. This is also because of the bad experiences that the customers have had so far with other providers, that they find Flipkart customer experience very delightful. Delightful experience basically means you get the best prices, you get the best selection on the internet. Basically, and each and every book that you can think of will be available with us. You also get the best service. Wherein, for example, in big cities, we deliver within 24 hours for most of the items. And in smaller cities, tier 2, tier 3 towns, within 2 or 3 days, all the books get delivered.
So how do you fix on categories? Why books to electronics to mobile now? So what is the end game towards Flipkart?
So end game is to basically become a complete e-commerce website. So that was the goal from the very start when we started out, that we wanted to become an e-commerce website, complete e-commerce website. Because the problems that we solved in books around service, selection, those problems exist in other categories as well. And we think that we are in a good shape today too. And before launching other categories, we wanted to become the best in one category. And that's what we did actually. Once we had a great handle on how to sell books online, we moved into other categories. So you will actually see a lot more change happening over time going forward. Bunch of other categories will get launched in the near future.
After mobile, you
So-
added mobile, right?
Right.
Yeah, we added recently.
So we are looking at electronics, computers and accessories, and then other products like sports goods, maybe apparel sometime.
But we have not narrowed down on a single category
Right.
or which
Any of
path we
these
will
might
take.
be the next one.
But there are anything that can be sold online.
What are the kind of risks and reward associated with these kind of categories? When I'm sure there's a lot of thinking that goes in the
Right.
selection of these categories. So what is it, like going forward, the key drivers to select it?
So actually the single biggest driver to select these categories is how comfortable customers will be to purchase this thing online. Right. So that is one of the biggest drivers. The second biggest will be, are we adding any value by providing this thing online?
Right.
So are we able to provide any value to the customer?
Is there a value proposition
Right.
in the category?
If we are not able to provide a value to the customer as compared to a local store, then we will not enter
Get
into
into the
that.
category now.
So what is the entire position like with Amazon, is it?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah. So what are like how are you trying to achieve that? What are the expansion plans for the company going forward?
So we are investing a lot in technology, a lot in infrastructure. We're setting up 5 warehouses across the country in all the 5 metros. We are building a big technology team which will support all this back end and the front end and all these new categories that will come up. So that is the plan going forward.
So we talk about bringing the value, like you're expert in like one category and you want to replicate that across other categories. So what do you think is the real value add that Flipkart added?
So the real value add, I'll say, is that it basically made online shopping very, very simple. That's what we have been trying to do.
And predictable. That okay, if I
Right.
go and shop online now, I'll get it tomorrow.
Right.
So you can trust it and it's predictable.
Right.
You don't have to think that it will come or it will not.
Right.
Will my money be taken away or not?
Right. For example, let's say if you compare a local restaurant guy and Domino's, right? So Domino's promises 30 minutes and they deliver most of the times within 30 minutes, right? So that's a very predictable, very consistent service that Domino's is providing, and that's why they're able to get more sales as compared to local guys who don't have that prediction. Sometimes you don't even get the order at all, right? So that is the difference between when actually customers get that consistent, predictable service for their purchases, they basically stop thinking about anything else. They will go with you all the time. The opportunity is right now. Opportunity is very big. We have to grow much faster.
So till now we have not done any marketing at all. Kind of marketing spend we have not done, right? So and we can easily do that, but we are holding ourselves back because we want
to basically build up our capacity to service those orders.
Right.
We want to build up our warehouses. We want to scale up our technology so that we don't falter on service at scale. So that is where we are investing today. And
so we are going slower than what we want to. But
yeah.
So perhaps this year we'll be seeing more investment, more R&D.
More investment.
Right.
More R&D from the
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Next year will be probably be marketing.
Right.
next will be proper marketing.
Yeah.
So like in terms of expansion plans, any kinds of ideas on ramping up people, capacities, any thoughts there?
Definitely. I mean, we are consistently looking for very, very good people. Our hiring bar is very, very high right now, and I think it has to be high for any company our size. Initial set of employees will set the tone of the company, and they will be the most. They are the ones who are bringing the most value right now. So our hiring bar is very high. We give them a lot of freedom. Every employee in Flipkart is given a lot of freedom to do what they think is best for the customers.
So how does a model work? How much is it like pure internet? How much is supplemented by telephone and other mechanism? How does it work?
It's pure internet right now.
Yeah.
It's very, very few sales on telephone. Very few sales.
So people have to address any query, customer.
So we have a large customer support team.
So it's a customer support. It's not sales.
It's not, but we don't do sales on the phone. So we have
but
we
no,
have
not a single sale on the phone.
No, there are some sales. Very few.
less than 2%.
Very few.
But primarily the sales are made
Primarily
online.
is internet.
Right. Sales channel is internet. But we do have a customer support which is on 24 hours actually. We are the only e-commerce company having a 24-hour customer support service in India right now.
Right.
What are some of the negative feedback that you guys have received about Flipkart till now?
So we take negative feedback very, very seriously.
Right.
To the extent of taking it personally.
Okay.
We take it very seriously. And if there is anybody who is thinking bad about us for any reason, we will want to go and fix that problem on our end. So mostly because when we started out, we were still learning the tricks of the trade, right? So we actually made a few mistakes and then we corrected it later. So most of the queries were around delays in shipment or wrongly delivered shipments, those kind of problems.
Right. Or you have the product information is wrong on the website.
Right. Which we have been.
Which we'll keep correct.
Yeah.
Which is an ongoing process.
Right. So the supply. If you look at the total supplier base of India, there are tens of thousands of small publishers, distributors spread across all over India. So it's probably physically not possible to capture each and every or tie up with each and every supplier out there. But at least we want to cover 100% supplier base in the 5 metros that we are present in right now.
So like how disruptive is your model? Why can't you see that another competition of Flipkart can come by very easily?
So I'll say that e-commerce is a very, very execution focused, execution heavy. Yeah, so definitely, I mean, the same way that we have beaten some of the older guys, somebody new can come and beat us. But they have to do really well at execution. They have to have really their ears on the ground to make sure that they don't, because this is a very, very heavily execution
It's very education centric.
Very
Right.
execution-centric business.
Because the idea is not new, right? Idea is very simple of selling.
Idea is
online.
pretty simple. I mean, you buy at X, you sell at X plus
You
Y.
need to
and
learn how to execute it,
Okay.
and you learn by doing. I don't think you
Right.
can learn without doing it.
So what are some of the learnings that you have had? How do you crack the code of e-commerce?
So the learnings are that you have to work very, very closely with all your third-party suppliers. I mean, anybody who is outside your company, you have to work very closely with them. They won't give. I mean, you can't expect service levels with anybody. Say, be it courier companies, be it suppliers, be it payment gateways. So that is the mantra I would say.
I think the market and the opportunity is so big that a bunch of players can exist in this market.
In this one.
So competition will not be a threat for some time until the market matures and peaks out at some point. I think there is enough room for everybody to grow as much as they can. So competition to each other will not be a threat.
Competition will be good actually. It will lead to more innovation, I would say.
And actually probably it will lead to more awareness among
Right. And more awareness among shoppers. Maybe the customers which we can't get through competition gets. And customers become aware of online shopping.
yeah, there are enough customers for everybody.
What is the current status of online awareness in shopping? Is it growing, you think?
It is growing very fast. It is growing very fast. It is pretty big, especially because of the online travel, the boom in the online travel that we've seen. A lot of people are now aware of shopping online, using credit cards online, how internet works, how can you use it to purchase stuff. So those kind of things, people are now a lot more aware.
Any kind of tweaking you did or customized Amazon model to India?
So it's wholly customized. There is nothing I would say which is similar
Right.
to what Amazon does
Right.
that we do.
A copy-paste model will not work in India.
Right.
I mean, we actually reinvented the wheel of e-commerce here. I'll say that, I mean, learnings from Amazon were almost non-existent because it's a very, very different market. It's a very well organized in logistics, in distribution, it's a very, very well organized. So the problems over there are much different from the
So
problems.
the problems over there are actually more towards the customer side. So how do you market to customers? How do you
So marketing is probably the biggest challenge over
Right.
there. Here, logistics and distribution will be the bigger challenges.
here the ground level stuff is more challenging.